Alright guys, it's Miss Rose again. So what we are going to do is we are going to go on to the next unit. If you've got two-step equations down, so this would be your next section. So this one is variables on both sides of the equation. So here are the two things that you need to know. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Okay, so you want to write that down in your composition book, label this as variables on both sides, and write down what you do to one side, you do to the other. The next one is you need to sort, meaning that you want your coefficients on one side of the equal sign, and you want your constants on the other side of the equal sign. So this is the way that I think about this. You can think of it however you want to think of it, but we know that everything that has a variable with it has a coefficient. In this situation, is like terms. So like negative 6x, 5x, negative 2x, 3x. As long as they have x to the first power, they're a like term. And then the other numbers that don't have a variable with it, we call those constants. So those are also alike. So we are trying to split those things up. So it's like if all the guys and girls in my classroom were just kind of walking around and I said, okay, I need guys on one side and girls on the other. Well, if I pull girls to the left, then I have to put guys on the right. If I put guys on the right, then I have to put girls on the left. So that's what you're trying to do, is you're going to sort these by following the rules that we've already talked about. Like if you want to move it across the equal sign, you have to do the inverse operation. If you want to split like 2x, then you have to divide because that's multiplication. So all those rules still apply. They won't change. And one of the things that you're going to notice when you do these equations is that it always comes back to the two or the one-step equation. It always comes back to that. So if you'll just watch while we're doing this, I want every single one of these problems in your composition book. Okay? So here's the first one. 5x minus 6 equals 4x. Okay. So now, what I want us to look at here is I got a problem. I've got 5x on the left and I've got 4x on the right of the equal sign. We want to get those together. So this would be like if you had boys and then girls, and then so boys and then girls and then boys again. We got a problem. We need all the boys over here on this side. And my arrow is pitiful there. So I need to get all the boys over there. So it's going across the equal sign there. So we have to do the opposite. So we'll say negative 5x on both sides to cancel it on the side it's on. We're just going to drop the negative 6 straight down. And then we have to be careful here. 4 minus 5 is negative 1x. Do you notice that this is now a one-step equation? So how do we break apart the negative 1 and the x? It's multiplication, so we have to divide. So we're going to divide by negative 1. So I've drawn this big exclamation part here to show you that this has gone back to a one-step. So then x equals 6, because negative 6 divided by negative 1 is a positive 6. Be careful with your signs. If you miss your signs, guys, it's going to make you feel like you're way lost. And you're not. You're just not being careful. So make sure that you check those. All right. So here is another problem. We have 5x minus 6 equals 4x. So again, it's the same problem, but watch what happens here. Let's say you say, well, I want to take the 4x over here. Well, if you'll notice here, what this means is you just put your guys and your girls on the same side. There's nothing left over here. Okay, so then that means I'm going to have to move somebody back across. And so then I'd have to move that back across. And you can see that I was where I was already. It's just that just the one move was faster than this one. Okay, this is 2 moves. Okay, here I just had the 1 move right there. So just pay attention to that. I kind of picture it this way. If I move that 4x over, like in this question, I've just made my equation unbalanced and it's going to topple over this way because I've made it heavy. So make sure that you keep it balanced on both sides, okay? All right. So let's go to the next one here. 6x plus 4 equals 10x. All right, so again, in order not to keep this, make it topple over and have to do 2 moves, here I'm just going to do 1 move. So I'm going to take that 6x over to the 10x. And we know that we need to change that sign. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to get 4x. 10 minus 4x is 4x. And we're going to divide by 4. Notice again, we are back to the 1 step. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. So that's important right there that you see that we're at that 1 step. Everything will come back to either a 1 step or a 2 step of the ones. This is actually just a 2 step also. It's just that we were moving a coefficient instead of a constant. Okay. After this, we stopped talking about steps. We just kind of do it. But if you can remember how this goes here. All right. So we have here, there again, you can see here that we're going to move that 2x over. And then x equals 5. All right, so if you're not sure about these, you can pause the video, go back and watch. This is the first part of your practice problems. All right, so here, we're going to go to 4 terms. So notice that I have 4 terms here. I've still got to sort. So I've got to get my x's on one side and my coefficients on the other. So I'm reminding you to sort. Here I'm going to circle both of these again. These are what I need to get together on one side. Here you get a choice. You can take the 4 to the 6 or you can take the 6 to the 4. You get a choice. These are my constants, okay? So these have got to go to one side or the other. If I take the 6 to the 4, I have to take the negative 3 to the 5. If I take the 4 to the 6, then I have to take the 5 to the negative 3. So it's going to go opposite directions here. So you can see I'm choosing to take the negative 6x over. And so that's going to be 4 minus 6 is negative 2x. I'm going to bring that negative 3 straight down. And I'm going to bring that 5 straight down. So look where you are. You are where you have been before. We're at a 2-step now. Notice that your arrows here go in opposite directions. That happens every time. Okay? So then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And negative 2x equals 8. There's my 1 step. Divide by negative 2. And x equals negative 4. Okay? Let's go again. So 6x plus 5x equals 3x plus 4. Again, I get to choose negative 6 to the 3 or 3 to the negative 6. And so let's see here. I'm going to take the negative 6x over. That's my choice. Okay. So there's your reminder of which ones you can do. There it goes. It's got to have the other side there, the other sign. Now, notice I brought the 5 straight down. And then I added 3 plus 6x is going to make 9x plus 4. There's that 2-step again. So notice that the top arrow goes to the right. So then we are going to have to take this 4x over across and change the sign. Now, you may say, Miss Rose, this is not even. No. But in 8th grade math, we don't always get things that divide evenly. So we're still going to divide by the 9 because it's with the x. So 1 divided by 9 is 1/9. So we're just going to leave it as 1/9. We're not going to make it a decimal. We're going to leave it as 1/9. All right, almost finished here. So 4x minus 6 equals 8x plus 6. And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to choose, this time I'm going to go the other way. So 8x minus 4x is 4x. Then I'm going to write that again and move the 6 over. Now, be careful right here. Negative 6 and negative 6, they're like signs, so we need to add them and make negative 12. And then I'm going to bring my 4x down. There's my 1 step again. Divide by 4, and x is negative 3. You can pause and rewatch that one if you need to. Again, notice that my arrows are going opposite directions. All right, so here we go. Last example here. I want you to pause the video right here, and I want you to try to do this question by yourself. Okay? Here we go. And here's how we work it out. Notice again, there's our 2-step. Okay. All right, and we're going to divide. Now, I'm going to work it if you went the other way. So if you took the, oh, that went away. I need to add that back there. There we go. So then if you went the other way, you're going to move the 6 over here and make it positive. And then move the, oh, notice my arrows there, opposite directions. So that 11's got to come back over here. Be careful again. -7 and -11 is -18. And then you're going to divide by the 9. Okay, so you see that you get the same answer by going different directions as long as they're opposite. Alright, so go ahead and get your practice sheet. You can have this video to watch if you need help. Just rewatch and rewatch and rewatch.